Hey, Codem family, it's another exciting podcast, and we are talking to Shama Akram, all the way from Great Britain. First, I want to say Happy New Year to everybody. Shama's article about ADHD is in our January issue of Codem. And Shama, welcome to the podcast. How are you today?
Thank you. I am absolutely chomping at the bit here. I've been waiting a long time to get onto this podcast,
I
so
know.
let's get to it.
I know. We've been
Happy New
talking
Year
for
to everybody. Happy New Year.
yes. I know we've been talking and trying to get this thing figured out, and then we had technical issues, and so we won't go into that. Hey, everything was perfect, right, Shama? Everything was perfect, right?
Everything is perfect now.
All right, okay, all
That's
right.
it. Everything's
We're not going to
perfect.
let them know we struggled to get this thing to happen, but
They don't need to know a
so
thing.
yes, welcome to 2026. How was your New Year? Where'd you go?
So I came back from a holiday in Morocco. We
Okay.
decided to my husband graciously decided that I didn't have to cook for 30 people
Um,
anymore and whisked me away and said, right,
that is
we're going to Morocco. So I
that is
spent
outstanding.
my
Yes.
Christmas and my New Year's actually there. So we're ready to rock now. I am fully sort of, what's the word? Because I have ADHD, so I struggle with my words sometimes. So apologies if it takes me some time to think of the words, but I am refreshed is the word that I was looking for. I am refreshed.
Well,
I
that
am
is
ready to rock this year.
outstanding. It is so good to talk to you. You know, many of our Codem readers don't know we have an international audience, and you are from Great Britain. So, can you tell me a little bit about where you're from?
So I'm from the capital city, London. I live just on the outskirts of London. Been living here all my life. The weather is miserable most of the time.
Okay.
Um, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys need to know about England that you don't already know?
Well, we just wanted to give our readers some perspective because, this is an international phone call. Today,
Sure.
we're talking about something very important, which is adult ADHD.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to talk to you because I know this is something that afflicts a lot of people. But the way that you approach it, Shama, I love because you talk about the coping mechanisms, you talk about thriving through ADHD. So let's just begin that conversation. So, how long have you been an expert in the field of ADHD?
Um, an expert all my life because until I didn't actually know I had it until in my late 40s. But if
Okay.
you were to talk about the kind of things that I used to do and the things that I used to do to mask it and to get through my life knowing full well that there was something different about me, um, that I probably did all my life. But to actually recognize it as ADHD and do a deep dive into it, 3 years.
That's amazing. So you discovered you have ADHD in your 40s. And so did you just decide to take this on as a mission? Because I love, when you go to your Facebook page, how you talk about it, how you discuss it, how you're helping other people. So tell us a little bit about what you do and how you help people, Shama.
Okay, so I'm just for the audience, if I do tend to go on a bit of a tangent, because that happens a lot with me when I'm talking about things like this, please just stop me and get me
Okay.
back on track because that will happen a lot. So the question was, what was your question again?
Yeah, I just
Sorry.
want to know, how do you impact people? How do you help people who have adult ADHD?
Well, first of all, remembering the question is probably going to be the first and foremost would be helpful.
Okay.
So how do I help people? I think I help people through gaining acceptance of their diagnosis, um, giving them the confidence to accept it, that this is the way I work now. And I say this a lot, and a lot of people will resonate with this. It's like a lot of people liken this to, well, I do anyway. It's like having two different phones. You've got an iPhone and you've got an Android phone.
Okay.
They both do exactly the same thing. They both have the same very, very similar features, only iPhone does things slightly differently. Android does things slightly differently.
Right.
That is exactly what neurodivergent and neurotypical is in my mind. A lot of people argue with me about this, but I feel that actually there is nothing really, it's not even a disorder. In fact, I'm actually going to start changing it to we don't have a deficit in our attention. It's just diverted, right?
Right.
So it's attention diverted, hyperactivity driven.
Right. Right.
That's what I'd like to call ADHD from now on, because before it's called attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. I
Correct.
don't have a disorder. I've just got a slightly different way of doing things. So gaining that acceptance with my clients means that we're able to increase their productivity. because there's a lot of overwhelmed with ADHD. Well, actually, not even with ADHD, with neurodivergence in general. There's a lot of overwhelm because it's about, where do I start first? What comes first? What am I going to do? My energy levels are not that good anymore. I'm not motivated to even get out of bed. What
Right.
do I do? So the coaching is a way of putting things in place that not only match your energies, but also hold you accountable every single day so that you're winning every single day. And
Yeah.
even if you're not winning every single day and it's just one small win, even that's enough to start compounding on those,
I
you
love
know?
how you approach it because when you say acceptance, you're not talking about from society. You're talking about people accept that they have it, and then how do I cope and deal with the afflictions that I have,
Yeah.
and then learn how to thrive through them. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly that. Because the beauty of this is that if you've got the confidence to be more aware of how you work, you're more likely to be able to communicate to other people what is the best working practice
Right,
for you.
right,
So
right.
you can go to a workplace and say, well, actually, I will do all of these things, but I kind of do things slightly differently, but the work will still get done. Work people don't really mind that. A
Wow.
lot of flexible working and remote working nowadays allows neurodivergents to work in their own pace and their own energies. So that really helps them a lot.
Right, right. So, in talking to you, and then I know other people who have ADD, ADHD. And let me stop for a second. I want to kind of go over this whole ADD thing. When did that term go away? Because as I was doing research to prepare for the article and for the podcast, I noticed that the term ADD is gone. It's only ADHD now. So what happened there?
Not entirely sure because I've never known it as ADD. I mean, I thought it was a euphemism that the American people and the Canadian people use, because
Okay.
whenever I used to call it ADHD, they used to correct me, calling it, oh, it's ADD. And I'm like, what does ADD stand for, Brad? I don't even know. That part I don't know,
So
unfortunately.
it was hyper
Attention deficit
attention
disorder.
deficit disorder. Right, right, right,
Okay.
right,
So I guess that comes from, because there's a variety of different ADHDs. You've got combined, you've got inattentive, you've got hyperactive. And I'm wondering whether that's where that's come from. So they're trying to put all of them lumped into an ADHD. And then you've got ADD, which might be the attention deficit. Then
right.
you've got the hyperactivity deficit, or you might be combined.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I've got
So
inattentive ADHD.
okay. So for you, going to work, living, being in a relationship, are the coping mechanisms that you teach people, does it help them better interact with their spouse, at work? Where does it impact them the most?
Oh, goodness me. Oh, well, we might have to ask my husband that question. He might have a few things to say. I think the awareness in the last 3 years of our marriage has really helped. I think before it was a case of, what the heck is going on here? Why are you so emotional? That's not what I said. Why are you feeling the rejection? Because a lot of my conditions come with, and I have these, and a lot of people will resonate with this.
Okay.
I have time blindness. So I make myself super aware of the time blindness. So I'm super punctual. I do everything sort of 15 minutes before so that I'm always on time. So that was my hack for that. And that was born just purely because I was afraid of my mum.
Okay.
My mum
All
would
right.
go ballistic if I was late for anything. So I was just like,
Okay.
I'm going to avoid this totally and just do everything 15 minutes earlier so that we are ready. I also have emotional dysregulation. My emotional dysregulation it gets pretty bad. But I'm aware of it. But it's almost as if I leave my body and I can see myself doing it. And I'm like, don't say it, don't do it, don't say it, don't do it. But
Wow.
impulsivity comes into it. And then I feel my tension rising. I feel the heat rising. I go from 0 to 100 within 3 seconds flat. And it could be
Wow.
anything that sets it off.
Okay.
Anything. It could be the way my children speak to me, or it could be somebody cut in front of me on a highway rather. Um, Anything. But if I'm in a good mood, nothing can change that.
Okay.
Nothing.
All right.
Absolutely nothing. So again, it just really depends on the hormones and what's going on. And plus, I'm at that age where it's either going to be an age thing, an ADHD thing, or a menopause thing.
Wow. Wow.
So I've got all of those to deal with as well. And I'm sure a lot of women my age at the moment
Are
um,
fighting the same
are
battle.
going to be understanding exactly where I'm coming from, because they spend half the time trying to figure out what's going on with their own minds.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, just the research in this conversation right now gives me so much more perspective into dealing with somebody who has ADHD. Because when
Yeah,
you said the emotion piece, the punctuality piece, that is a very real thing that people are going
it is.
through, that they kind of have to deal with, and so that
There,
emotion
there's
part is
there's three
striking.
others.
Talk to me. Talk to me. Let's go.
There's I have also a pathological demand avoidance. For example, like if I'm already doing something or I have the intention of doing something and someone says, "Oh, don't forget to do that," like say for example, if I'm washing dishes and then someone will say, "Hey, can you wash the dishes?" It doesn't matter whether I'm already washing the dishes. That's irrelevant. I'll be just like, "Why did you just do that? I was doing it. Why did you have to tell me that?" So
Okay.
that will annoy. That is the most simplest form of pathological demand avoidance. The rest of it, you'd have to ask my kids what that's like, because my son also has inattentive ADHD. So trying
Okay.
to get him to do anything, I cannot ask him to do it. I can't. No, I can't tell him to do it. I have to say, "Hey, how about we?" It's long. I don't have time for
Wow.
that.
Wow.
So it's constant. I have to constantly be thinking about what I'm saying or what I'm doing so that I don't offend somebody, or I don't say something out of turn, or I don't give my son pathological demand avoidance.
Wow.
Then we
Wow.
have justice and sensitivity. I have this innate need when something is wronged to fix it, to do something about it, to talk about it, to shout it to the rooftops. So if I get, for example, so for example, on Facebook, there's a healthy amount of Asian men on Facebook.
Okay.
They will message you randomly on
Okay.
Facebook. And that annoys me so much. It annoys me so much because I'm like, my justice and sensitivity sticks in. Say, "Why are you messaging me? I have not asked you to message me." And then when they say, "Oh, oh, it's okay, we're just having a conversation," I'm like, "No, I don't want to have a conversation with you." And I will completely have an argument with them, whereas everyone else would just block.
Yeah, yeah, you could just block them. But you're
I
saying that
could just
because
block.
of the ADHD, you want to know why they
I want
message
to know,
you?
why are they doing that to me?
Shama, they're
Why are
trying to
they
get into the
infringing on my
DMs.
time?
Shama, they're trying to get into the DMs. You know what that means, right?
I don't want them to be my DM. That's the point. I'm asking them, why are you doing? I've not asked you to do this. Why are you doing
Right,
this? Why
right.
are you infringing on my time? Um, what's the other thing I have? I think that's it, really. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
just
So
that.
that's enough. We don't want any more. Stop. Stop. No more.
I'm sure there's more that I still have to uncover. We've only
Yeah,
been 3
right.
years into it, yeah.
Wow. So that is a mouthful. That is a lot to deal with. It's a lot for anybody who deals with you to deal with. But let me tell you something. Knowing is half the battle, because I think once you know, then the way that we treat each other, uh, uh, the way that we interact, the way that we communicate, I think it all helps. So this conversation that we're having right now, and the article that's in our January issue, is going to be so helpful, because I really do think that this is real. I really see it on a daily basis from people that I interact with. And this is so helpful because I will change how I communicate as I learn from you some of the things that they experience. And if I change how I communicate, it will make the situation better for both of us. Is that what you're saying?
I think it's just to just take a hot minute and just think about what's being said at that moment. And it's really, really difficult for a neurodivergent to do that because we're impulsive as well. And we just kind of go straight into it. And we're like, "Why did you say that?" We
Right.
don't think for a second, what is the context this is being said? We'll go straight into whether or not it's making us, how it makes us feel,
Wow.
you know? But
So
here's the
are the
thing, the
okay.
minefield is this. It's very difficult nowadays with all the distractions that we have in the world to figure out who is and who isn't ADHD. So it is a potential minefield for you, for people who, because they don't know. So I think it's just the general consensus is be kind and be patient with everybody because you just don't know their story. They could be a neurodivergent, they could have autism, they could have an invisible disability that nobody knows about. And if they tell you about it, just be mindful about it. A lot of us as children had ADHD as children. It would have come to us when we were 6. It would be present in our reports. Those are the people that have the neurodivergence. Everyone else, when they say to us, "Oh, we do that sometimes," or I've got a bit of ADHD. No, you don't have a bit of ADHD because it's a genetic, hereditary problem. Um, and I don't say it lightly. You know, if
Right.
I'd known that I had ADHD, I probably would have thought twice about having kids because I wouldn't wish this on anyone. It's an awful thing to be thinking about all the time, constantly. The noise is constant. The need to please is constant. It's a minefield for us.
Wow. Oh man, that is just an amazing thing. As a child coming up, if you discover that they have ADHD, is the earlier the better? Is this medically treated? Are there coping mechanisms that you can teach a child so then they don't take it into adulthood? What is the process if a child is diagnosed with ADHD?
So, here in England, once the child has been diagnosed, and it is a bit of a long process now because obviously NHS waiting times, that's a bit of another postcode lottery as well. You know, if you are living in a certain affluent area, you're more likely to get better care
Okay.
as opposed to somewhere. And I think that's probably the case in America as well. You have the insurance issues as well. So for us, it's from the moment you get diagnosed, then you are seen by a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist, and they will then talk to you about your state of mind. How does this make you feel? So that's super important to have those conversations so that you can get into the root of why we think the way we do, why we feel the way we do. And a psychotherapist can often unpack that a little bit and help you understand yourself a little bit more.
Okay.
Then you can choose to go down the medication route. I chose not to go down the medication route because I'm in my late 40s now. What kind of medication I'm going to take right now is going to help me? It probably would, but I'm quite happy being my kooky self and doing the kind of things that I do. And I feel that if I took medication, it might change me. That is also a myth, by the way, but I still believe that it will because I've
Okay.
heard that it does. It either dims the light or makes you more focused, but takes away some of the appetite. And I love my food. I'm just not willing to give up that
Okay.
at all. Um, so I decided to go down the more holistic route.
What
So
does that look like? Is that like an herb or something, or what does that mean?
that it's more therapy and coaching.
Okay.
It's easier for me to talk. It's easier for me to learn to communicate better. So I decided to go down that route. And having a therapist really helped me understand what is fake news and what is not.
Wow.
What kind of stories I'm holding on, what kind of limiting beliefs I'm holding on to myself and that I've been holding it, and what stories are now no longer serving me. So I was able to do that. And
Okay.
that's what I'm trying to do with my clients, but in a more coaching point of view. Because here's the thing, I don't like looking back. I'm a complete empath. If you told me your life story, the chances of me bursting into tears are very high. And if I burst into tears, I'm useless for everybody. I'll just be sitting there crying my eyes out. So for
Wow.
me, it's all about I need to look forward. I need to move my clients forward. I want them to look back, but with a therapist. And once they've uncovered who they are and what they want, then I can help them move forward. And that's what my coaching does. Always
So
moving them forward.
wow. So you're meeting people at all different levels, all different ages. And where do you find the most out there that people don't know that they have it? Are you finding people after they discovered that they have it? Where's the on ramp to how you take in clients?
So I take clients on from a variety of ages. The the youngest I've ever coached is 12,
Okay.
and the oldest I've ever coached is 84. All of them have some of them have been neurodivergent, some of them just needed the accountability, but they all have one thing in common. They lack structure. They want structure, but they don't like being told what to do. So I get them to choose how they want to do their structure and we work towards that. If
Okay.
what they think in their theory doesn't work out in practice, then I'll put in my two pence worth and say, hey, how about this? Or hey, that worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. So all of them have structure. All of them have overwhelm. Um, a few people don't like being told what to do, which means I have to change the way I speak to them.
Right. Right.
Um, I'm doing a lot of work with a lot of different ages. I think for me, it's the young adults. I want to get in there with the young adults because those are the formative years where the ADHD really shows up, because
Hmm.
you've got puberty and you've got the hormones, and then you've got the changes, and then you've got the sleep, and all of that happens, and then the motivation is up and down, everything. So I want to get in there with the young adults because I want to be that person that I could have done with growing up,
Right. Right. Yes.
helping them understand how structure works, helping them make decisions using various frameworks that I've put in place for them to help them make decisions. And it doesn't matter whether that decision is right or wrong, it's whatever feels right at the time. Because for me, it's all about the growth at this point, where you grow, how
Right.
quickly you're able to regulate yourself through that growth is where I want to get to with my clients. So if they're
Definitely.
pubescent and I'm teaching them, okay, this is how you can make a decision better, or this is how you can set intentions and actually follow through them so that you have visions and you can actually manifest those visions, but you've got to take the actions to go with them. And that's where sometimes the issues happen, but we're working through it
Yeah. Yeah. So
every
Shama,
single day.
I'm listening to you, and the one thing that I love about what you're saying is you teach people how to deal with their own ADHD, right? Do you ever go beyond them and sit down with their spouse or their parents or their children? Like, is this a thing where you can talk to the entire family? Because I think half the battle is them knowing and then understanding how to cope. But I also believe that the world around them needs to be educated and understand, okay, if I have, like you named four, five, six things, right? If I have three of these six things, now as your spouse, I know how to interact with you to keep you better even, keep our relationship better even, keep our
Great. So when
communication
you can you go and
right.
teach my husband?
Yeah, yeah. So do you talk to the husbands and wives?
So when it comes to the children, I'm more likely to talk to the parents first anyway, because the parents always approach me first.
Okay.
That's always happened. I've never actually had a spouse talk to me about, because when it comes to the adults, uh, they tend to be a little bit more, they want to talk about more confidential things, and it's not
Understand.
something that they want to discuss with
Okay.
their spouses and things. I don't think I've ever had a situation where I've had to coach a husband and wife, but I have given the partner enough confidence to be able to speak to them about various things.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So I'd rather that they did the communicating about who they are and what they want rather than me. I just think it blurs the lines a little bit.
Okay. I get that. I get that.
But when it comes to the kids and the parents, I like to give the parents a lot of um, insight, because whatever they tell me is going on in the house gives me a lot of insight. So I'm able to then share with them, obviously with the permission of the child in question, because it's still confidential. And
Understand.
if I say to them, look, would you mind if I shared it with your parents? If they ever ask me, they'll say yes or no.
Okay. Do
And I'm
you
okay with that.
Yeah. Do you have what's your best success story? You met somebody, they were life in shambles because they have
Oh my gosh, I've
ADHD.
got so many.
Give me your best one. Give me your best success story.
Um, when I got one of my clients graduated in law, um, it was a hard 2 year slog, um, and they had to repeat a year,
Okay.
unfortunately. That's why it
Okay.
was a 2 year slog. But we got there in the end, and that is the biggest thing for me. Another one is one lady who wanted to be more confident as a teacher. And we worked and we worked, and she also has a few issues with her health, so that always held her back. But she's broken through that, and now she's a qualified tutor and she's running her own business. Some of these stories, they might not seem so small, but when I hear,
Mm-hmm.
I
The
know I've
light
done it.
bulb come on, right?
That feeling of release of the pressure that they've been feeling, and then now knowing that actually it's not that much of a big deal and it is totally doable. And it's actually, if we break it down into smaller sections, or when they've talked to me about certain things, I always hear that. I swear, Brad, if I could, I'd probably record all the size I ever get, and I'm going to
Okay.
make a remix out of it one time.
Okay.
I am so going to do that.
That is amazing. So listen, everybody, if you like what you're hearing, please subscribe to our channel. Code M is a magazine. We do live activations. We have a podcast. So, Shama Akram, you are in Great Britain. But if I
Yes.
live in Spokane, Iowa, can I, you know,
Yes, you can.
okay.
I
So
am.
talk to us. Where do we get a hold of you? I'm going to put your information in the link in the video. But I also want you to tell people how can they get a hold of you? Do you take clients around the world?
I take clients all over the world. We are currently operating in 31 of the major countries, so US, UK, Europe,
Okay.
some countries in Africa, some countries in the Far East as well. I say we because I'm part of a franchise. I took on a franchise of an espresso franchise, which
Okay.
allows me to use that framework, which is that daily accountability that you have. Um, it's a beautiful system. Honestly, you guys need to get onto this system,
Okay.
get that accountability in every single day. So I'm available. Facebook, Shama Akram, Serenity Coaching on Instagram, Shama Akram on LinkedIn, and where you'll get all my details about the espresso and all the other frameworks I have on offer. Otherwise, you know what? Just send me an email at sonicsirene@gmail.com and tell me what you want, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Yeah, I love this because I think a lot of people are suffering from it. They don't know. And I
Yeah.
think here's the crazy thing. Even if you know or you've been diagnosed, I don't know if we're digging as deep as you dig, Shama. I love how you approach it because you're talking about thriving through it. You're
Yeah.
talking about accepting it.
Yeah.
And I know that there's medication. I know
Yeah.
that there are other things that you can do, but I like how your approach is, hey, what's the consequence if you take a medication? Now, food. Are you as motivated as you need to be? Does it impact you intimately, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes you can have medication that robs you of other
Oh,
emotions and things like that. And so
absolutely.
what you're saying is you have other ways of dealing with it and then absolutely thriving through it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I tried the medication route when I was because they thought when I was getting migraine, I get a lot of migraines as a result of
Okay.
the high cortisol content because I'm always stressed out. Actually, since I've been coaching, I'm less stressed out because I'm healing myself through these guys.
Right.
You guys are wonderful. You heal me when I'm
Right.
coaching you all the time. I love it. Um, I took propranolol, which is a beta blocker,
Okay.
which is well known as something that can prevent cortisol, but also works as a kind of anxiety release as well. It made me feel very aggressive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
Wow.
then my mum was just like, do you know what? Just come off these pills. You're not you. And
How,
that kind of put me off a little bit. And I was like, okay, maybe not the pill route then.
so how long did it take for you to realize that something was changing in your DNA when you were on the medication? How long did that take to realize
I
that?
was on it for about 3 months.
Okay. That fast.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was enough for me because like I was getting the migraines were still happening. So I was getting more frustrated. But when I was getting frustrated, I felt like I was getting more rage than frustrated. Um, when I went to college, I'd be angry all the time. I'd be frustrated all the time.
Okay.
I didn't feel myself. But I hadn't felt myself for such a long time. And now I was like, this new person's coming. I don't even know who this person is.
Right.
I
Right.
was very comfortable with the old of me. So I went back to it.
Yeah. My last question for you is, do you feel
Yeah,
like exercise or sleep is a factor? Do you need, I mean, like, do you recommend rest and do you recommend exercise a
100%.
counterweight? Okay.
Um, I try and get my clients to do some sort of exercise at least 3 times a week.
Okay.
They can choose whatever they want, so long as they're doing something that they love. There's a difference between active rest and passive rest.
Okay.
Passive rest is when you're sleeping. Active rest is when you're not busy ADHDing, but you're actually doing something that you love.
Okay.
So for me, dance is a way that I channel the hyperactivity. So I go to Zumba 3 times a week. I do wedding choreography on the side, so that channels all my energy.
Okay.
Um, I also talk incessantly. That's another way of channeling my energy. Just
Okay.
saying, just I can't stop. Um,
Okay.
what else do I do? So Zumba and yoga are my two things that I do for my positive movement. And I don't call it exercise because everyone's like, oh, I don't want to do an exercise. I go, no, but what do you do for your positive movement?
Right.
Because the positive movement is you moving positively to get that brain working, to get that clarity, to get fit and healthy. All positive things. exercise for me is like doing homework, doing a chore.
Okay.
It's something that has to be done.
Wow.
I choose to dance. I choose to do my yoga because they fill my cup. That's why I
Wow.
choose. So
Wow.
for all you people out there who need to know, focus on what you love doing first. So if it's dance, if it's swimming, cycling, running, football, whatever it is, start off with that and build on that first. That is when habits start taking shape.
Wow. Well, Shama, I told you I would give you your day back at 30 minutes. It's been 30 minutes. I cannot
Thank
tell you
you.
how much fun I had talking to you. Thank you so much, guys. She is an expert in adult ADHD. I think you literally change people's lives because I think awareness is half the battle. And then you teach people how do you thrive throughout your diagnosis. And so I thank you so much for joining us.
You're so
And
welcome.
yes, yes, yes. I will talk to you again.
We are
Uh,
not finished with this by any chance.
no,
I'm going to be
no.
coming back, Brad.
Yes, 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 you absolutely will. And so I thank you and wave goodbye to our viewers and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye bye.